Welcome back to our channel, Ultimate Crypto Bureau. Today, we are going to explore Bitcoin technical analysis, and at the end, I will give my price estimate on BTC post halving till early 2025. If you are new to our channel, welcome in. And before we start going deep into this video, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel to get real facts and knowledge about cryptocurrencies and other related topics. So let's get going, guys. So as you guys can see, recent price movement of Bitcoin has been in the upward curve. And if you have a look at it since November 2022 all the way down till now, Bitcoin price has been moving up nicely. And as you guys can see, we have quite a lot of green candles. What does these green candles actually mean? This actually means that Bitcoin price has been moving up. This is a monthly chart, guys. So I wanted to show you a bigger picture of Bitcoin and how the price action is actually performing and what should we expect. At the end of this video, I will give my own estimates regarding the next bull market and also when to start expecting to take your profits out of Bitcoin if you are thinking of selling your Bitcoins at a much higher price. So let's get started again on this technical analysis. And what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm trying to show you guys is that currently the trend is upward trend, as you guys can see. And this trend is set to continue. And there are a lot of fundamental reasons why this trend will continue to rise. And yes, we will have some pullbacks. However, we will have this trend continue to rise. And the three main reasons actually why. And I will start with the furthest reason possible, which is the US election in November 2024. And as we know, in the past history of, roughly between 40 to 50 years, every time there is a US election, the price of all the assets seems to be going up, whether it's equities, mainly equities, because no president of United States want to fight an election where the markets are actually dropping. Right? So we are expecting the price to move up significantly in the equities markets, meaning all the stocks of the banks, of technical companies and all other companies, all different type of sectors will be going up next year. And there will be a sort of optimism in the market, and you will see a lot of all these presidential candidates talking about how they're going to make America great again. And one of the hidden factors we will see is that Fed will stop actually raising rates. And I believe that's going to happen from January onwards. Fed now has no reason to increase any rates, which is a great news for NASDAQ, for tech stocks, and also for cryptocurrencies. And I believe Fed will also start printing money. So they will print more dollars in the markets. And all of that printed money will come back into the equity markets. It will come back into the crypto world, especially Bitcoin, especially Ethereum, and we will see a really big bull market. So that's the first factor. What's the second factor? The second factor is halving of Bitcoin. As some of you might know, that Bitcoin is going to do another halving roughly around mid-April to end of April 2024. And what happens is after the halving, what is halving? Meaning currently Bitcoin generates around 6.2 BTCs every time there is a mining activity going on, and every time there is transfer of Bitcoin from one place to the other, and that's how the new Bitcoin gets generated. right? So the miners get paid around 6.25 Bitcoin. So what's going to happen is when the halving happens, meaning the amount that the miners will get paid will get reduced to 3.25, which is absolutely fantastic, meaning that there will be less Bitcoin available to actually, come to the market, right? And as we know, there are a lot of long-term holders of Bitcoin, like Michael Saylor, like a lot of other billionaires out there. Actually, they are sitting on large stash of Bitcoins, and they're not willing to sell until Bitcoin goes to a much, much higher price. So that's the second factor. Now, what's the third factor? And the third factor, and one of the biggest factors, is, as we know, in recent months, BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK Invest and many other investment management firms have actually filed applications for Bitcoin ETF. Well, what is Bitcoin? What is spot Bitcoin ETF? Spot Bitcoin ETF means that all of these large firms will be buying Bitcoin on the behalf of their clients. And if the clients buy the ETFs, then they must hold the amount of physical Bitcoin, which is a spot Bitcoin. So that means BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, DSG, and many others investment firms will be bulk buying BTC. And where are they going to bulk buy the BTC? They know Bitcoin is not just simply generated straight away. Yes, it is, but it's generated as per the halving cycle, right? So they can't simply generate extra Bitcoins than what the capacity will allow them. That means they will be going to the open markets and they will be buying the Bitcoin from the open markets. And if there is no Bitcoin available in the open markets, then the price will shoot up. And there will be some people selling it at 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, or how far it goes to, right? So they will have no choice but to buy Bitcoin at those prices. No one is selling, and then the price will shoot up, right? It's supply and demand. So once the ETF gets approved, which I believe is going to happen in either January or February time, we will see a lot of buying in the markets. So these are the three main factors which I believe will bring us the next bull market. We are still, guys, not in a bull market. Bull market hasn't actually started. And as you guys can see, why I'm saying this, the bull market hasn't started. So as you guys can see, I have drawn these blue lines, and these are the previous halvings that has happened. So in June 2016, we had the halving period. And as you guys can see, after the halving, there are 2 months where Bitcoin prices actually dropped, right? Not that much, just about 25 to 30% drop in the Bitcoin price. And then after that, after 6 months after that, as you guys can see here, 6 months after that, the Bitcoin price have started moving up in upward direction, right? And as you guys can see, 2012, again, same thing happened. That was another halving. 2016, another halving. As you guys can see, after the halving, a slight tank in the price, and then straight going all the way down to 19,500. At this point, Bitcoin was roughly around $346 per Bitcoin. And as you guys can see, the effect of halving that happened in the technical charts. Then the next halving happened in 2020, May 2020. And as you guys can see, after the halving, markets have kind of shot up all the way till the halving was, right? And then it kind of, went all the way down to $10,000, and then it actually tanked to around 8.5. So, a drop of roughly between 13 to 15%, right? And then after that, after the next few months, you will see a real acceleration momentum in the market that took it all the way to 64,000 first, and then all the way to 69,000, right? So as you guys can see, after every halving, the euphoria increases, the news in the market increases, that, all the big media players actually start talking about Bitcoin halving, and, they actually create that hype. And once that happens, guys, Bitcoin's then suddenly a new money starts coming in and shows up. And what's going to happen to the next halving? We know that in April 2024, there is halving. So potentially we might see Bitcoin continue to rise. It may go all the way to 40,000 next month or so. Yeah, we might even finish 2023 over 40,000 or even 42,000, right? Around here as well. Or we might even go all the way to 48,000, right? So next 2 months, next 3 to 4 months, we'll continue to see a big candles going up, basically, right? So, and we know that January, February time, we potentially may have all the Bitcoin ETFs being approved by the time, and this will create some really, really strong buying opportunities by the big firms. They'll be buying a lot of Bitcoins, guys, to have their client money coming into their portfolios. So they need to buy the physical Bitcoin, which means they need to buy Bitcoin itself, not just the futures, not just the derivatives, but real Bitcoin. So potentially we might even see price breakout and go all the way to 60,000, 69,000 as well. There is a possibility that if there is a tremendous amount of buying coming into the markets, then Bitcoin may potentially go past 60,000, 69,000 and go all the way to 100,000 as well in the next few months. Then we might see a small tank and maybe coming back to around 60,000 again. If it goes all the way to 70,000, you might even see it coming all the way back to 50,000 or 60,000 to 50,000 range, and then shot up again after the halving. So this is what I'm expecting, guys. So a lot of people have been asking me, what do I believe will happen to Bitcoin and when to cash out once you are entered into Bitcoin right now? So what I would suggest is, guys, the price will continue to shot up from Bitcoin, right? And once that happens, I strongly believe that Bitcoin then will continue to rise, and it will continue to rise till the halving happens. Then you might see between 15 to 20% dip. So say, for example, Bitcoin until April 2024 went all the way up to 60,000, right? Up to here. And then suddenly it will then go down to around 48,000 after the halving in that month. We will definitely see, guys, a lot of people will be selling after the halving. And for next few months, you probably might see Bitcoin jumping around between 50 and 60,000 for, May 2024, June 2024, July 2024. And we know that we have elections in November 2024. So after first 2-3 months, we will see a real push like this, guys. Look, the market tanked, it gone up again, got slightly higher, tanked again all the way here, and then straight up, shot it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months straight jump in Bitcoin price, right? So potentially we could have the same scenario where we could jump from between 50 to 60,000. From there onwards, we might see a massive jump coming up for the next 6 months. So after May, after June, we will have a real bull market starting from June 2024 and going upwards. So that could potentially go all the way till, first quarter of 2025, January or February 2025, which I believe will probably be the top end of the price before the next bear cycle starts. And depending upon the world situation, guys, by then, I believe a lot of ETFs will be bought by big businesses, hedge funds, banks. Everyone will jump in. Even the governments will be starting buying, which I'm pretty sure it will happen. And once this happens, you will see real momentum in the Bitcoin prices or crypto prices. And this is where the bull market will really start. At peak of the bull market, I would suggest if once we reach, say, from 60,000 onwards, and as you guys can see here, look, this is where the halving happened. Price was around 10K, jumped all the way to nearly 7x of the value. If, say, for example, if we are, my least expected price, which is 40,000, right, at halving, say if you come down all the way to 40,000 from, 60,000 to 40,000, that's a nice drop of nearly 30% in a worst case scenario. And if that happens, from 40,000, if we do 7x, what's the price? It will come between 275 and 280. I mentioned this in my previous videos as well about Bitcoin price analysis, that this potentially is my price target. That's I would say, my conservative price target. And if Bitcoin has a really big bull market, if it could potentially go even to $500,000 in upcoming bull market, right? Suddenly, if there are countries that start crashing, their currencies start crashing, like there are a lot of scenarios like this that happen. Something maybe there will be a war scenario between US or China or Russia, or anything can happen in the world, right? And if those kind of scenarios do occur, Bitcoin will definitely go over $500,000, guys. So just keep an eye on it, right? And once you see a massive euphoria in the market, when you see everyone from media to social influencers talking about how Bitcoin is a great product, great asset to invest in, and all that kind of stuff, they normally do that when Bitcoin has reached their highest price. They started doing that here in 2021 when Bitcoin price was absolutely going berserk, right? That's when they started doing it. So they will get new money in this area, and then we might see a drop. So similar scenario could happen around $275 to $280,000 price target, and then we might see that euphoria coming back at that time, and then might jump a little bit, and then it will start crashing from there onwards, guys. So keep an eye out, right? We have a group. And my price target for the next bull market for Bitcoin is between $270,000 to $280,000, guys. That's my price target. Bitcoin has always done this from past, as you guys can see, 1, 2, 3 halving cycles. This is the fourth halving cycle. Remember, guys, if I show you quickly, as you guys can see here, look how many Bitcoins have already out in circulations. 93% of Bitcoin are already out in circulation. There is always going to be just 21 million Bitcoin ever, right? If you look at the market cap, okay, 737 billion market cap. The all-time high was nearly 1.3 billion market cap. I believe Bitcoin itself will have around 10 billion market cap, guys. So do your math, right? From this money, what we currently are, to reach 10x or even 12, that's 12x, right? So if Bitcoin reaches 10 trillion market cap, or even it reaches 7 trillion market cap, possibility the Bitcoin price will be around $500,000 easily. It's a scarce asset, guys. It's a scarce asset. They would not be able, the big firms will not be able to generate more Bitcoin. They will only be able to generate what the systems can generate. Remember, Bitcoin is a computer code, right? It cannot be modified. It cannot be changed. It's decentralized. There's no single entity controlling it. So that means no one can print Bitcoin, right? It's only generated through the transfer of Bitcoin itself, right? So at this point in time, as you guys can see, the technique, the fundamentals, and the tokenomics of Bitcoin, it's very, very good, guys. Very, very good, right? And if you look at it, what I mean, and I can clearly paint a picture here, guys. Have a look at this, right? 2016, when the halving happens, June 2016. Then you had 2 down months, as you guys can see, dropped around 15% from the high of 2016. And then after that, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, it just continued to go up in 2017 until the entire year Bitcoin went up, right? Pretty amazing, hey? So that's when Bitcoin jumped from $340 to around $19,500, guys. That's how much Bitcoin has jumped during this halving cycle, right? Now, next one, we're going to come to 2020. And as you guys can see, May was the time where Bitcoin halving happened. Then you had a little bit of a downturn in Bitcoin for the month of June. Didn't drop much, slightly. But then after that, have a look at this, 24%, 2.5%, a little bit down month in September, but then it picked up momentum. Look at this, 28%, 42%, 47%, 14%, 36%, and 30.1%. That's where the peak of the Bitcoin price was when it reached $64,000 from around, I would say, around $9,000, guys. So do your math, right? That's 9x, that's 7x the volume. Okay, and have a look at this. Then we had started having the downturns, and again, from July, August, and all the way in October 2021, right? The Bitcoin price has jumped up all the way here. 2021, October 2021, it jumped up 40%. So that's when it actually went all the way up, guys, to maximum of $69,000. And then after that, as you guys can see, it suddenly started tanking from there onwards. And if you look at what has happened is, this is where the low of Bitcoin was, around $15,500 in 2022. A little bit of a drop in December, but have a look at what's happened in January. January, February, March, April, May was a down month, June was an up month, and as you guys can see, look, September, we have 4%, October, we had 28.5%, November, still not finished yet, it's already up, right? So potentially we will have December, month of December up, month of January up, February up, March up, and then April is where, the halving will occur in 2024. We might have a couple of 1 or 2 months where Bitcoin might suddenly, drop to 15 to 20%. So as my price estimate is that by April 2024, we might be closer to 60,000. Then we might come back to 48,000 or 50,000 in May and June, and then from July, August, September, October, November, December, and even month of January, we will have exactly 6 months of higher values going up for Bitcoin, right? And as a result of this, guys, we will be, be extremely careful when it comes to December. So November 2024 is the election month, right? In the US. There will be a lot of euphoria. There will be news, or it will be all over in the news. There will be so many things going on at that point. So November, maybe December, and maybe January 2025, that's the time you need to pack your bags. All the holdings that you have, Bitcoin, in Ethereum, in all other altcoins. Usually the cycle happens. Bitcoin will have the highest peak, then it will be Ethereum, and then it will follow by the other altcoins. right? So by January, February 2025, you will have a lot of good coins will be hitting the all-time highs. And that's where we need to pack our bags, cash out, and then wait for the big tank or wait for the big drop. And trust me when I tell you this, 2025 will be a year where there will be a massive market downturn in equities markets, in currencies, everything else, guys. 2025, the effect of all this, higher interest rates that Fed has, Bank of England has, and all other central banks had for whole year, the effects will be felt in 2025, and it will be a deep starting recession at that point. And when that happens, investors usually take out the money from the markets and it will drop down significantly. All the assets will be dropped down significantly. So Bitcoin might drop from 270 to $275,000 all the way. It could potentially come all the way to even make a low of 60 to 70,000 and then jump back up again and eventually might go to 1 million. So that's my price estimates, guys. And I hope you found this video very informative. And if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel as we are sharing some really good information. We are sharing not only the technical analysis, but the fundamental analysis that back the data that we currently hold, and also all the good crypto coins, which I believe that if you have it in your portfolios, you will do extremely well. And just for a full disclaimer, I do hold some of these assets that I've discussed in this video. So guys, do your own research. This is not a financial advice. This is just my personal opinions only. Do your own research before you invest in cryptocurrencies, as cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and very, very risky to invest in. Until next time, guys, have a great evening and enjoy your weekend. Bye.